time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back, Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We have co-host Bryant Falconer in the studio. How you doing today, Bryant?
Hey, man, I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. How's your week been?
Great.
Dude, I have had a good week, too.
Yes. It's one of those weeks where you get to the end of it, you're like, okay, I'm cool with this.
Yeah. Well,
cool with this.
You know, I had a good week at work. I took a 3-day weekend last weekend, so that carried over, made my work week a day shorter, which is always nice. But then we had the Herf last night, which was awesome. We had not just the Herf, we had the Super Herf. We had McAuliffe, which was a sponsor of the Super Herf. We gave away some great swag. We gave away a travel case.
Yes, sir.
The black leather one, super nice. Then we gave away a Tim Rickman. My buddy out of New York actually won the flask and the white ball cap.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. And then Orlando won the blue ceramic ashtray.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So, dude, let me tell you something. If you ever want to put together the dream team of Name That Tune, all you need is Orlando. And with those well, then Justin's wife.
Yeah. Because she was answering all the questions. You was like, wait a minute.
Justin,
text in.
If Justin didn't have his wife, he would be mediocre.
Tell the truth.
But if you had Orlando and Justin's wife, you could beat anybody. Now, and then you throw in Big
Bill.
Tony
and Bill. Remember, because in the celebrities,
Bill. Now, were you there for the celebrities?
Because remember, I answered Hendrix and nobody did.
Yeah. Hey, nobody knew who Hendrix was.
I did, Hendrix,
because that was a good one. But we had a lot of fun last night. We played a lot of games. Gave away some swag, just a real good time. Last night I smoked a Medallia, I smoked a Perdomo, I smoked the Mi Querido.
Oh, you did? I had that ESP that you gave.
How was that? Dude, that was good, huh?
Delicious.
Well, let's talk about what we're smoking now.
Gotcha. I am smoking the Viva La Vida 500 series.
Good smoke,
dude,
man.
I've been smoking on this for a minute, and I'm just sitting over and pairing it with this rare breed that you gave me, the last of it.
Hey, man, that's what I had on the Herf last night, and let me tell you, there was a lot more in that bottle when I started.
Yeah, because it's just a shot now.
I'll tell you what, that rare breed is a good pairing with a medium plus to full stick.
It's hitting this perfect, bro.
Yeah, it's a really good pairing. You get a lot of spice.
It's that caramel.
Yeah, and it's leathery.
Yes.
I mean, it's a really nice, and at 116 proof, it's as smooth as I would expect it to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not
overbearing.
Yeah.
The spice is the bite, and that's the perfect part of it. The spice is the bite. The caramel is that part that just lets it take you. It's just the smoothness part of it. And then I'm matching it with this Viva La Vida. Perfect. Bro, I'm sitting over here just chilling.
Yeah.
You talk.
Well,
you talk.
I am smoking. Now, I gave you last week the ESV Sun-Grown.
Yes, sir.
This is the ESV Maduro.
How's that one?
Oh, it's very nice. And I'm actually pairing it with this Heaven Hill Ball and Bond.
That's beautiful, man.
It's a great match.
Oh, yes.
The Heaven and Hill is not as stout as that rare breed, but also this ESV is not as stout as that 500 you're smoking. So this is a really good pairing. I'm enjoying it. So let's talk about McAuliffe, our sponsor, for a minute.
As you say, faux to 40.
Faux to 42.
Faux to 42.
If you guys haven't become an ambassador yet, man, they are doing so many cool things. They're doing a weekly giveaways right now to the ambassadors who are doing the passports.
Yes, sir.
The passport thing is so cool. I was showing my wife the passport. She was like, I don't even smoke cigars, and that makes me want to smoke cigars just so I can do the passport.
That's a great mind to sit back and say, okay, I want to give my line to people, and then in giving it to them, I want to bless them on the back end of it. The passport is you smoked, is it 16 or 17?
It's 15.
15.
Well, it's actually 16, but if you do one right now with 15, because the McAuliffe A hasn't been out yet, so you can send those in for now. But it's kind of cool just to flip through the pages and see all the bands.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
go through their line and get to taste and enjoy the McAuliffe cigars and understand why we talk about them as much as we do. It's just, and then to get a blessing after, the opportunity to win something after.
Yeah, Bill White was on the Herf last night. He won the $100 gift card for. He used it at Smokers Haven,
and you can buy what you want.
Yeah, buy whatever you want. And so, anyway, McAuliffe is always doing innovative things that support the cigar smokers, their ambassadors, and most importantly, the brick and mortars.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, a lot of companies can support the consumers, but the way McAuliffe does it, it supports the consumers and the brick and mortar,
which still takes care of the consumer.
Exactly. So
100%.
you're getting taken care of, but they're going a little extra. You know what I mean?
To ensure.
That's what they always do, is a little extra.
Yep.
And
I love
so
it, man.
hats off to the McAuliffe team, the family, and Mr. Al McAuliffe, because he has put together the ultimate cigar team.
Yes, he has.
So anyway, we're going to be doing our Pick 6 next, but coming up in the show, we actually have 2 interviews this week.
Yes, sir.
We've got Mr. National, which he is a very interesting guy. I really like this guy. We're going to talk to him. You'll get to know him a little bit. And then we have Katie Blomarz from the Barefoot Movement. And they do a very interesting type music. I would classify it as bluegrass, but a very progressive, but still like really earth roots type bluegrass.
Gotcha.
I mean, a lot of people change music to where it's no longer resemblant of what it used to be.
As we know today. Yeah.
They still have the roots, but they've put their own style on it. And I dig it.
That's true to the origins.
Yeah. And like Katie is the upright bass player, and she has studied jazz for a really long time. So to bring her, point of view and influence on the music, you can definitely see it. But it's a great story, so you're going to want to stick around here. Both those interviews, they'll be coming up a little bit later after the Pick 6. So what's your top 3 this week?
Okay, going with me first.
I always go with you first, because that way I can fumble around and find what my 3 are.
My first one is going to be the Blackbird Unkind.
Oh, good smoke.
Yeah,
what'd you think about that?
Man, that's a great stick, man. That's a great stick.
It really is.
I had some matcha coffee with it.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about a pairing that almost is made in heaven. The spice in the beginning with that Sumatra, it was just like, okay, an eye opener. And then the way that Blackbird just mellowed out as it went through. Man, bruh, I loved it.
I've enjoyed them.
Oh, and you're the one that gave it to me, so that's the blessing there.
You're welcome.
But my number 2 was an Island Gem.
Oh, yeah. Great smoke.
Another gift from you.
Yeah. Good smoke, though.
Yes, sir. I see why you speak on them the way that you do.
I enjoy them. It's one of those medium sticks that I just enjoy smoking. It's not a powerhouse.
No, sir. But the construction was what really got me.
Nice. And just the shape and build of that cigar. I don't even know what size you would call that.
Say.
Because
it's got a torpedo end with a shaggy foot.
It's an Island Gem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my number 3 was the blessing from you that we couldn't even pronounce the name of it.
Did you ever figure that out?
Yes. It's the Blackbird Harfin. And Harfin is
you sure it's not Harfin?
No, Hrafn, and that's Old Norse for raven.
Oh, okay.
And what Blackbird did was take the best of the crow and the raven and blend
it together. I still haven't smoked that stick.
Dude.
I've got one, and I haven't smoked it yet.
When I say they hit the mark, they hit the mark. As with Blackbirds, you get that spice in the beginning.
Well, I might have to light that one up tonight.
That spice in the beginning that hits you. But when I say it mellows out, then it comes back in the back end, and that last third, it just makes that entire stick worthy. It makes it worthy, man.
Well, now I'm looking forward to smoking it.
Most definitely.
I've been kind of saving it. And
that's one, if I'd have tried it like now before, if I get another one, it's going to sit in the bottom of the humidor.
I got you.
It's going to sit.
I got you. All right, so my 3, I'm going to go back to an old favorite because it's actually been a while since I had this one.
Well, we know it's not a medallion then.
No. But it is a McAuliffe.
Okay.
It's the McAuliffe Connecticut.
Oh,
Dude,
oh,
it's been a while since I've had one of those.
that's a good Connecticut too.
Yeah, that's a really good. That's one of my favorite Connecticut's.
What did you pair with it?
Coffee.
Yes.
I
Which
had
one?
The Ethiopian.
Yes.
Good
yes.
stick. And, when you think about a Connecticut, you think of something light. And the McAuliffe Connecticut, I don't really consider
Nope.
light. It's
Nope.
more of a medium.
Yes.
And so when you pair it with a bold coffee like Ethiopian, it really marries perfectly
Yeah, they
together.
box off each other.
Yeah,
they really do.
They really do.
That's a good boxing match too.
And then my number 2 cigar, if I can get to it, is
Yeah.
the Sin Compromiso.
Oh, yes.
I'm a fan of
Yes.
that, and I got my hands on one of those, and so I enjoyed that this week. And I love that cigar.
Yeah.
I hope that once the leaf gets moved, they
That-
can bring
yes.
in the Dunbarton line.
Yes, because that's a good stick.
Yeah, they make good cigars. And then my last choice of the week
Okay.
is, and I don't smoke a lot of Rocky Patel.
No, you don't.
I don't, just because I don't even know why. It's just not on my radar.
I got you.
But let me tell you what, they came out with an ALR cigar that's a special edition, and it's a hard to find stick.
Okay.
But if you can find it, get
It's
your
worth
hands
it.
on
It's
it.
worth
Yeah,
it. Okay.
get it. A friend of mine out in East Texas sent me this stick.
Did he
and
just send you one?
He did just send me one.
Okay.
Now, I got to tell you, though,
What was that?
and I don't have the box with me, so I can't tell you his name.
Okay.
But a good friend of the show sent us a little care package. You've got a couple of sticks over
Oh, the
there.
firecrackers.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The 2 firecrackers you got over there.
Uh-huh.
So he didn't specify how many you get and how many I get.
I got you.
So he sent 6.
Uh-huh.
So you got 2.
And you got 4.
I did.
Oh my God. Now y'all see what I go through. You see what I go through, man.
Hey,
that's
well,
that's what I tell folks. If you're gonna send to us, send mine separately.
So here's the thing. I was going to split those up evenly.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
heard that.
I was.
Yeah.
But then that little firecracker is the perfect stick when you don't have a lot of time.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And I found myself in that position 4 separate times.
I'm glad you didn't find yourself in that position 6 times. Oh my goodness, man.
So
Come on,
I
bruh.
apologize I don't have his name with me because I kept the box somewhere so I wouldn't forget it. But we want to say thank you
Yes.
for sending those firecrackers.
This makes me miss Junior, San Diego Jack, because he made sure I was taken care of.
Junior always made sure you were taken care of. And I
Man.
think maybe that's why. Like, what did I give you today?
Those 2 firecrackers.
No, that
and
right
the,
there. The McAuliffe Leander number 2.
In the coffin.
In the coffin.
Yes, sir.
So, see, that.
Okay, I got you. now.
Hold on. That Leander number 2 is what you call a guilt gift. When I smoke one
I
of
got
your
you, bro.
cigars,
I got you.
I gotta fill
You
in.
gotta fill in.
So, and I would say you got pretty good
Oh
into
yeah,
that deal.
I'm thanking you for that
Yeah,
guilt gift.
So,
Oh man.
now was that all 3 of mine? Oh yeah, that was all
yes,
3.
Sir. Yes,
All right,
sir.
man. So we have Mr. National coming up next. You're
sir.
not going to miss his. I'm not even going to tell you anything
No,
else
let
about
him
it
find
because
out.
he
Yes.
does some cool stuff. So you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Hey guys, thanks for hanging through the break. We have a very cool guest with us. And let me say, the way we met is he runs a podcast, but he also has an Instagram account that I actually look forward to checking out every day. He's one of my favorite Instagram guys. And the funny thing is, he's like this hidden gem that a lot of people don't know about. Let's see, Mr. National, that's what he goes by. Mr. National, how many Instagram followers do you have?
At the present time, a whopping 80.
80. That's how much of a hidden gem this guy is. I love his content. He's posting pictures of guns, electronic football, hot chicks. I mean, he keeps me entertained all the time. He only has 80 followers. That is crazy, dude, because
Right.
you probably have the one account that I look forward to checking out every day.
We're going to get them numbers up just because I'm on Cigar Talk Podcast Radio right now.
Hey, man. So, Mr. National, how you doing today, brother?
Absolutely wonderful. I'm out here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was a scorcher today, Rob. The sun is down. It's a beautiful evening right now. I'm sitting out on the deck, having a My Father's cigar, speaking to one of my favorite Instagram people.
See, I think my Instagram's pretty boring. All I do is post pictures of cigars, and I love cigars, but I think I have about 1,000 and maybe 1,100 posts, and so out of 1,100 posts, at least 1,050 of them are pictures of cigars. So after you see 1,000 pictures of cigars that you took yourself, you're like, it's another picture of a cigar. You know, there's only so many pictures I can take of cigars. But you're entertaining because you post cool stuff. And, you know, every once in a while, if I don't get on Instagram for a couple of days, I always swing by yours to see what you've posted because you're the entertainer for me, man.
Well, I try. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain, you know. As you said, Rob, we put up there. I put up the guns, the cigars,
cars.
Some of my trips. I mean, with the COVID going on, I haven't been able to get out as much.
Hey, well, let's back up just a minute. Let's tell everybody about your podcast. What's the name of your show? Tell them what it's about. I think it's a very interesting. It's something I didn't even know still existed. So lay it on us. Tell us about how that got started.
Okay, people, here we go. The main background is electric football. That's where the Mr. National name came from. The little metal vibrating in the buzzes. The men used to go all around in circles. Now we're adults. We know how to control them. They look a lot better.
No way. Back up.
Yes.
So, you know, I played electric football back in the late 70s, 80s. Mm-hmm. And they just went around in circles. So are you telling me now you can, Rob, make a plan?
Dude, we can run sweeps. Sweeps. We run pick plays for the receivers. We're hitting long passes. I'm telling you. Right now, this weekend, there's a big, serious tournament going on in Bowling Green. And in 2 weeks, the World Championships is in Kansas City, Missouri. The year before, it was in Richmond, Virginia for 2 years. Before that, it was in Arlington, Texas for 2 years.
Wow.
And so going back, like I said, I played the game as a kid. Through internet, I'm going late 90s, early 2000s, using the internet, did a search for electric football. Found out there were hundreds of guys. There was a chat board going on. They were still playing. They were having tournaments and events, conventions. So I started, like I said, I jumped in head first, Rob. And these tournaments, I've been to Vegas, LA, San Diego, Texas a dozen times, Ohio a dozen times, Richmond, Virginia. I was showing
all
up
for electric football.
All for electric football.
Dude, that is crazy. I had no idea.
I know. So the name Mr. National came up, was given to me because I was everywhere. In Philadelphia, I was running for 20 years. 20 years, I ran the league, and we had all 32 teams.
No
we had
way.
32 coaches. Yes, wow. 32 coaches representing all 32 teams. So every tournament, you know, you meet these great guys, Rob. You got the cigar smokers. You got the drinkers. That was the group I hung with. You had the other guys that smoked the Bob Marley. They had their... Okay, so you got that group that brings their wives. All the wives, they hang out. They know each other. The kids, we watch kids grow up and have kids.
Dude.
So it's a small group, Rob, but it's a tight clique.
Wow.
And that's where the national thing came from.
That is
and
awesome,
the
man.
Podcast, and the podcast and everything. So
I mean, you've been doing this for 20 years. That is crazy to me. Because think about it. You know this group, this small, close-knit group for 20 years all over the country. Like you said, you see them have children. You see those kids grow up. You see those kids have kids. I mean, dude, that is awesome, man. That is awesome.
That is. I'll tell you what, Rob, I can go just about anywhere in the country, catch a plane, tell one of the coaches, the guys, hey, I'm coming to your city, and everything is taken care of.
Wow.
I'm picked up from the airport. If I don't want to stay in a hotel, I don't have to stay in a hotel. It's like that. And same thing when they come to Philly. They say, Mr. National, I'm coming to your town. And I'll be like, just tell me the dates. I got you.
Man.
Yeah.
That is awesome, dude.
Hey, when we get together, I tell you, all those towns.
So let me ask you this. You've been doing that for 20 years. Have you won the national championship yet?
No.
Oh.
Actually, I've won the hometown league championship before. But what started happening with the big tournament, I became like this person, the entertainer, the guy that's got to organize the party and going out late
working
night.
it. You're working it. You're not actually playing. I got you.
Not playing. I'm working it.
So you are from Philly.
Yes, sir.
So did you grow up in Philly?
Absolutely. Yep. Born and raised in Philly. Like Will Smith.
Being a fan on your Instagram page, it was something that doesn't make sense to me. Is that you're from Philly, you grew up in Philly, but you got pictures from the 49ers on your page.
Huge 49ers fan, Rob. From back in the Joe Montana days in the 80s. I mean, growing up in Philly, everybody liked the Eagles. Like I say, you played an electric football game, everybody wanted to be the Eagles. So I had to find a team that nobody really liked or had. And I liked the colors of the 49ers. 1980, and that's been my football team ever since then. I've been riding with them.
Well, you know, it's funny because my co-host Bryant loves the 49ers, and I'm a Cowboy fan, so we go back and forth. But I tell you what, there was no better rivalry back in the early 90s than the Cowboys and the 49ers, because when it came down to it, whoever won the NFC East championship, that was the Super Bowl. Nobody cared about the actual Super Bowl because whoever won that game was going to win the Super Bowl too.
Was going to win the Super Bowl, right. That NFC championship, I think it went on for 3 years straight, Niners versus Cowboys, was the elite game of the year.
Oh, that was the clash of the Titans right there, man.
That was it.
You know, talk about both teams had elite talent on both sides of the ball, and when they met, you knew it was just going to be an all-out fight.
And the Cowboys got, I hate to say it, but the Cowboys got the better of the deal, Rob. Your team cost me 2 rings, okay?
Hey, that's because we that's because we took Deion Sanders from you, brother.
And Charles Haley. So
Charles. Hey, you know what? I met Charles Haley back in probably 98. Dude is huge, man. I mean, on TV, he looks big. In person, he looks huge. I reached out to shake his hand, and he made me look like I was a little person.
He's tall. I didn't realize how tall Charles Haley
he's tall, huge hands. He's not like a thick, fat guy. He's actually pretty lean, but man, he was a beast. You did not want to be the offensive tackle having to face that dude every down.
Absolutely not. When you talked about the NFC back in our heydays, that kind of got repeated coming up in the 2000s when the Colts met the Patriots.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That AFC Championship, that was the best game of the year.
Right.
Yeah, that was it.
I agree. And I don't really see a lot of that going on anymore. You have like 1 or 2 teams that are dominant. Usually there's only one dominant team in each division other than the NFC East right now, and basically all 4 of those teams suck, including the Patriots. I mean, I said Patriots. I meant Philadelphia and the Cowboys.
Right. And the Cowboys, right.
So
they both got young quarterbacks, too.
Yeah, they got both young quarterbacks. And we talked a little bit before we started the show tonight. And for all you Cowboy fans, I'm of the opinion that, you know what? It's time to cut Dak, start Dalton. You're going to pay him $3 to $7 million this year. You're going to be so far under the cap. We can do whatever we want to do next year. And I don't think you're going to see that much fall off between what Dak would do and Andy Dalton would do. I mean, Dalton was pretty good in his day. He's not, he's a little older now. He's probably not as good as Dak, but he also hasn't had the caliber of players surrounding him like Dak has had. So to save, $32 million in one season, man, I'm all about that.
I hear where you're coming from, Rob, because I don't think Dak can take the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. I mean, when you look at that team on paper, they should be better. And that's why I think Jerry Jones is
hesitant.
irate.
He's hesitant on signing a big check for like that. And the thing about it is, you let Dak go, I promise you, none of the other 31 teams out there are going to pay Dak $35 million plus a year for 5 years.
I agree.
You know,
here's one for you. I saw this on social media. It could be a 49er fan, a Dallas fan. Dak Prescott for Jimmy G, straight up. Would you make that deal? And I was like, as a 49er fan, I was like, I might take that. I think Dak's mobility and his escapability gives him a little bit of edge over Jimmy G.
I think his mobility, I wouldn't take that deal as a Cowboy, but what I would do as a Cowboy is I'd cut him and you can just have him. Because I don't want Jimmy G either. He comes with too high of a price tag.
Yeah, we paid him.
Well, you know, the thing about it is why I say that none of the other 31 teams would pay Dak right now is because I think a lot of teams over the last 2 years really got bit in the ass by paying these astronomical prices for quarterbacks, and they have not panned out.
No.
So I think
they gave Wentz the money, Philly.
Yeah, but you look at the other guys who went to the Washington Redskins that they paid.
Well, they let go of the guy, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but they paid him.
They kept franchising him.
Well, I thought he got a super deal first. I thought he got
with Minnesota. Kirk Cousins got with Minnesota.
Yeah, and
I didn't like that.
They overpaid big time for him. So I don't think a lot of teams would even pay Dak $35. I think he would be lucky to sign with another team in the 30 to 32 range, which I still think is a lot of freaking money. And the fact that he is, crying for more money. I mean, $35 million, dude, that's a lot of freaking money. From what I understand, they've offered him $35 a year for 4 years. He wants 5 years with the fifth year to be $45 million. I'm like, no, sir.
Right. He's asking. He's asking for a lot, and he hasn't produced. That's the problem.
Right. A lot of people say, well, he's never got hurt. He's been a team leader, and I think he has been a team leader, but on the flip side, to be the ultimate team leader, you have to lead your team to a Super Bowl. And if you haven't got them there, then you're not the leader that you think you are.
Exactly. Case in point, look at Atlanta with Matt Ryan. They paid that guy the bank. They give him the best receivers money can buy. And he got to the Super Bowl, and him and the offensive coordinator, which is my head coach, Kyle Shanahan, both choked in that game.
Yeah.
Last year, Kyle choked again. We had Kansas City dead in the water beat, and he let them come back and take that victory.
Hey, man, it's hard. Pissed. It's hard to keep Kansas City down. If you don't have Kansas City down by 3 touchdowns with 5 minutes left to go, you're just asking for trouble.
Just talk to Deshaun Watson and the Texans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? I think I want to see what Deshaun Watson and the Texans do this year. I'm actually almost more excited to see what they do than what the Cowboys do. And here's the thing. I'm a Cowboy fan. I have been all my life. I lived through the glory years, but the glory years, it's been 25 years ago. And so if you keep drinking the Kool-Aid that Dallas is selling every year, more power to you. But that's not me. I'm a realist, and I'm like, man, you know what Jerry Jones is? He is the best salesman on the planet because every year he sells a bill of goods that says the Cowboys are Super Bowl bound, and all the Cowboy fans jump on that bandwagon.
Every day. They drink the Kool-Aid. They put the blinders on, Rob, and they just keep walking straight. And I don't get it.
They do. So, my whole thing with the Cowboys is I'm the fan that says, prove me wrong. I hope that you prove me wrong. I want to be wrong because I love the Cowboys. I'm just not drinking the Kool-Aid. Hey, so let me ask you this. I think it's interesting, excuse me, that the electric football has changed to where you can plan a play. So how does the game work? I mean, is it like regular football? Is there a timer? Is there
yes.
a plays? You get 4 downs to get a first down.
It's just like football, Rob. The way we play here in Philly is 15 minutes a quarter. The offense has 40 seconds to have their men set in the legal formation. They have to call set before that 40 seconds. The defensive guy has an additional 15 seconds to be set. After those sets are made, the play at the line of scrimmage is done. Now you get to do two, like a motion or a pivot where you actually say you got your two backs in a split formation. You can take one of those backs and motion them out to the slot. That's called a motion.
Okay.
So you could do that. The defense gets to match that, and then the play starts with the clicker on. And you can either say the running back has it, or you could just set up for a pass play.
Now, how does the pass play work? Because I know you're not throwing a little ball downfield. So does he have to be open?
Okay, so just think if you got a player that's out wide, like a wide receiver. All the plays look like a real football game. You know, you got the 5 linemen, you got the quarterback behind center, everything. So you got the receiver out wide with a cornerback on them. When the board comes on, those men are going to run into each other. What you want is your receiver to get separation and break free of that cornerback. And at that point, you stop it and you call pass to that guy, that receiver. So where your quarterback is at, you have to bring in that same little yellow or white quarterback. You put the felt ball on it and you have to flick the foam ball.
No way.
It has to hit, yes, and it has to hit that player on the fly. So if the ball, it hits him and ricochets off, he has the ball. Next thing you do, if he's turned to the side, you can straighten him up, you pivot him. The defense gets to turn their players to chase after him, and then the board is turned back on.
No way. That is awesome,
yes.
man. That is awesome.
Hey, Rob, I got to start posting. I'll start posting more videos.
Yeah, I got to see some videos from like the before the defense lines up, and then the go, and then the stop and the pass and the defense reset, because that sounds so cool, man. We got to talk about a little bit more of this after we get done with this interview, because I got to know more about this. So you're the 49ers now? Is that your team?
Yes. And any tournament I go to, if I decide to play, I'm always.
So do you have referees?
Yes. Say the tournament, the tournament has started, you probably got 40, 48, 40 coaches, 35 coaches all playing. So early on in the tournament, you basically, it's me against you. We're going to ref our own game. If we got a tough pass to be made, we might call over, like your partner, your co-host Brian, come over and watch this pass. Tell us what happened. See where, if it hit or incomplete. So close plays you might call for a set of eyes. Most of the time, you are reffing your own game. As the tournament progresses, you get down to the Elite 8, the Final 4, then you have refs.
Oh, okay.
Reffing the whole game. Everything. Making penalties is very, very intense.
That sounds like it, man. It sounds very cool. So you got to let me know the next time there's like any kind of tournament going on in the Dallas area, because I'm going to go check it out. I'll drive up there, go hang out at a cigar lounge, and then go over there and watch this, and then go back to the cigar lounge. But I would love to go experience this in person and check it out.
Yeah. Like I said, in Arlington, Texas, their league is called the DFW, the Dallas-Fort Worth EFL, Electric Football League. And they've been running for years. They have a guy out there named Reggie Rutledge who creates these massive stadiums to go around the board. And he's the Cowboys fan. He replicated AT&T Stadium.
Oh, no way.
Down to the retractable roof.
Dude.
So you played electric football game in the stadium.
That is awesome.
With people in the stands. So it's a lot of creativity. And like I said, it's a lot of great people in that hobby and sport that I've met over the years.
And then you said, like, within the community of the electric football community then you have like many communities of the cigar smokers, the bourbon drinkers, and so you fall kind of like within both of those groups.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm the entertainer guy. I'm the one when I get to the tournament, you got to find out where the gentlemen's clubs is at. Can we smoke cigars in there? So the tournament's going on all during the daytime, maybe into the early evening. After that, we breaking off. Like I said, we got a crew. Now, McDonald's and Wendy's, the fast food is in play. But myself, I like to go out for a nice seafood or steak dinner. So it's a small select group that don't mind spending a little money, want to try out a new restaurant in a new city. So we go do that. We have a nice meal, drink some wine. Then we fall back to a cigar lounge or just smoke right in a parking lot. So and like I say, that's the group I fall into.
Nice. Well, see, next time you come down to Texas after the tournament, we'll have to go over to the Riata restaurant in Fort Worth, which is owned by Al McAuliffe from McAuliffe Cigars. One of the best restaurants I've ever been to. But the great thing about it is a block and a half away is the Silver Leaf, which is a super nice cigar lounge / bar. And you can just hang out there and relax and smoke cigars, man.
Dude, that sounds like a plan, Rob. You say less, as I like to say. Say less.
Well, hey, man.
It's on.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show. We've been talking about doing this forever. I talk to Mr. National on a regular basis because he keeps me entertained all the time. If you haven't seen his Instagram, tell him how to find it. Is it just Mr. National? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's Mr. with a period. National Podcast.
Okay, Mr. National Podcast. So go by and check out Mr. National because he will keep you entertained, and he's always got cool, funny stuff on his page. And I love your gun selection, dude. You freaking. I'm an old school gun. I'm a classic. I like the 70 series Colt 45. I like the Smith and Wesson J frames.
Right.
But when I see the stuff you post, I'm like, oh, I don't even know what that is, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, I like to mix up that Colt you have. That 1911 is a thing of beauty.
Well, thank you.
You say you always you post the cigars, but Rob, your photography with the gun, with the cigars, with the chips, the lighter, the cutter. It's perfect. I mean,
I was a photographer for 15 years, so I have a little bit of history in the art of photography. So, but
it shows.
Well,
dude, it shows.
A lot of people have told me that, but in my point of view, I think people probably get tired of seeing it. They're like, "Oh, there's another one of those." So you think I should keep that up?
No, you got to keep that up. That's why they follow you.
Hey, well, if you don't follow my co-host, Mr. National, you got to follow him. He's Cigar Talk co-host, and his picture selection is always of him. He's a selfie queen.
Okay.
He always posts pictures of him, man, and he cracks me up. But you know what? He's the GQ guy out of the two of us. I'm just your ordinary blue collar worker. He's got class. He's got the hats. He's got the jackets. He's got the ties. He's got the matching watch. And right. I'm in a bowling shirt. You see me. So,
hey, do you bowl, Rob?
I do not bowl. Well, I have bowled, but I wouldn't say I bowl. I mean, if I break 100, dude, I'm kicking ass.
Oh wow, yeah, you go. Right?
I'm not a bowler. Well, hey man, thanks for taking the time to join us, dude. We will definitely have you back on another time. I really enjoyed just hanging out and talking with you, and we'll be talking again soon because I got some ideas that I want to pass on to you about this electronic football.
Okay. Thanks for having me, Rob. And like I say, everybody, if you want to come over to Mr. National Podcast on Instagram, please follow. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, definitely go by and check him out. Well, hey, man, take care of yourself. And if you need any help from us at any time, feel free to reach out, brother. We're always here for you.
Appreciate the love and support, Rob. Keep doing it.
Always, man. Take care. All right, guys, we're back. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Mr. National.
Wow.
He's something, isn't he?
Wow.
Hey, so here's the part that I found very interesting about the guy. First of all, he grew up in Philly his whole life, but he's a 49er fan.
Hey, blessings. I grew up in East St. Louis.
Right.
And I have the greatest team.
So
I root for
he didn't know that you were a 49er fan. And he was excited to know that. We had a lot of good conversation about football back in the 90s.
Yeah.
and the
The
late
true,
80s.
True, man.
You know, when football was football.
Man, when sports was sports.
All of them.
I was watching The Last Dance this morning, and that's with Jordan in the 90s.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Dude,
I can't wait to watch
When they
it.
talked about the Jordan rules that Detroit had, they couldn't exist today.
No.
The rules were you forced him to his left. If he tried to cut back, you beat him up. If he ever came into the paint, you did not allow him to jump. Sally said, what was his name? Chuck Daly, their coach, said, we can defend him on the ground enough to keep him from scoring. But once he leaves his feet, it's all over. It's all over. And they said Mahorn and Lambeer, their job was if he ever stepped into the paint,
Lambeer was
to
a
beat
beast.
him up.
Dude. Lambeer's a dude that you want to take to a dark alley street fight.
Dude, not dark alley, bar fight, anywhere where you got to get down and dirty.
Yeah, that's
you
your
want
guy.
Lambeer. You
Yeah.
want Lambeer, you want Mahorn, you want Barkley. Who else? What was the center for the Celtics? McHale.
Yes.
You want guys that's going to go in there and don't care.
Right.
Just don't
That's
care.
what they got paid to do.
Oh, yes, and
that's
they
what
did
they
it. They did it.
That's what was so great about sports back then.
Oh, man.
But hey, I'm going to change subject on you right quick. So I was scrolling through Facebook, and there was photos of 4 running backs.
Okay.
It was one of them was Bo Jackson.
Okay.
One of them was Thurman Thomas.
Okay.
One of them was Danian Thomason, whatever his name is, and
Delaney
the other one
Thomas.
was Emmitt Smith.
Okay.
And it said, if you had to pick one of these guys to get rid of, which one would you get rid of?
Thurman Thomas.
And I'm going to say 80% of people said Emmett.
Well, Emmett was a product of his line.
Now, wait a minute.
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
Here, I do understand that Emmett ran behind the greatest offensive line of all times. Mm-hmm. But you can't discard a guy who had 175 touchdowns.
Let me explain something to you.
No, let me explain something to you.
Do
you know who has more touchdowns than Emmitt Smith?
Tell me.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Only Jerry Rice. You have Emmitt Smith at number 2.
You got to look at
no,
the
you
line.
can't. You can't look at theories and say
you
can't
look
say
at the line.
what would Barry do. Barry didn't have that opportunity.
He didn't, but you put him behind that line.
You can't say what if. You can't say what if.
So he was he was the product
if
of that line.
Ifs and buts were candy and nuts. Every day would be Christmas.
But you got 3 other running backs that didn't have that line that have just as productive seasons.
Let me tell you what. No,
he did.
Negative.
Who?
Negative.
Who didn't?
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson had one of.
Bo Jackson never cracked 1,000 yards in a season
because he was playing baseball the other half.
And you know what? No, he never cracked 1,000 yards in a season, and he averaged 4 touchdowns a season
because they didn't have a team.
Okay, so if I'm picking to get rid of a guy,
it would be Bo.
Oh, I'd get rid of Bo all day long. First of all, he was not healthy enough to be a guy.
Oh, he was healthy enough until that hit.
Okay,
and
then he had the hit. He only played 4 seasons,
and then after the hit, he went to a different sport and gave us another almost 10 years.
Okay, I'm not talking about other sports.
That's
I'm talking about these 4 running backs.
So if
these 4 running backs,
I wouldn't have taken
Thurman Thomas.
Yeah, I wouldn't have taken Emmett off that list because of that line. And then there were times when it wasn't just a line. Yeah, Emmett was a bad back.
Dude. For the national national championship for the NFC East, and he played with a separated collarbone against New York. His heart won that game. So you can't say that it was just the offensive line.
I didn't say it was only the offensive line.
I get he had the best,
but I still didn't pull him off the list.
All right, I will take my tone down a notch.
But you do notice who they didn't put on that list.
Who?
Barry.
No.
Because you can't.
Barry was on the list.
No, you said
take away Tomlinson.
Oh, LaDainian.
Yeah, it was Barry.
Yeah. Okay.
And Barry, you would never take Barry away because Barry was successful with no offensive line.
Offense. Him and Walter Payton.
Yeah. He should have been on that list. So if you got those, which one do you take off? If you you say Barry, Walter, Bo, and Emmett. Yeah, Bo will be gone. Bo.
Bo would be gone.
And that's what I said.
Bo would be gone.
And you want to know what's the truth? That's the 4 players that were
actually on the list.
I
He
couldn't
gave me
remember.
Thurman Thomas.
I couldn't remember.
Oh, man.
But
come
anyway,
on.
that was the 4 that were on there. And everybody said Emmett. And I was like, dude, Bo's gone all day long.
So give me this
And
list.
don't get me wrong.
Let me give you this list.
I loved
Let me give you
watching
this
Bo
list.
play.
Let me give you this list. Jim Brown, Barry, Emmett, and who's the other one? Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. I would say Walter Payton. I'm taking Emmett over Walter Payton.
Why?
Because you look at the numbers.
He had the number.
He didn't come close to the numbers.
He was the number 1 rusher.
No.
Yes, he was.
No,
Emmett,
he was.
Emmett eclipsed him, and he never had that line that Emmett had.
Right. But when you look at the number of yards and the number of touchdowns, the number of receptions, the number of receiving touchdowns, Emmett blows him away in every category.
Now, then you have to remove Jim then.
Jim who?
Brown. Because when it came down to it, Barry was the ground guy.
Right.
Emmett and who's the other one? Walter were ground and catches.
Right.
That's the reason.
Well, I'm just looking at the overall package.
Okay.
And Emmett was also a blocker.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
And Walter was a blocker. The only one that wasn't a blocker on that list was Barry.
Yeah, Barry wasn't a blocker.
He wasn't a blocker.
But he was a hell of a punt returner
Dude.
and kick returner.
Dude.
Because before he became Barry,
When you put the ball, just put the ball in his hands.
yeah, it was awesome. All right. That's enough about the sports. We have a young lady going to join us next. We have Katie Blomarz from the Barefoot Movement.
Yes, sir.
And if you haven't listened, we'll have a link down below this episode so you can check out their newest single. I love it. Man, relaxing and smoking a cigar and listening to their music is something that
Yeah,
I enjoy.
yeah.
So here we go. We'll be talking to Katie. We'll be right back after the break. Hi, guys. Thanks for thinking through the break. We have a very special guest with us this afternoon. We have one of the band members from the Barefoot Movement, and we have Katie Blomarz with us. How are you doing today, Katie?
Hey, I'm doing really great. Thanks for having me on the show, Rob.
We're excited to have you. You guys just came out with a new single. You have a new album, and I mean, I am really digging this music. I love to sit back with a glass of bourbon and light up a cigar and just enjoy this music. And is it intentional that you guys sound like you're going back to the roots of bluegrass?
You know, we all come from all over the place, so it's been a really fun combination. This is kind of our first original record with this iteration of the band, and so bringing everybody's backgrounds into this album has been one of the most fun parts. And we have people who are heavily involved in the bluegrass roots. We have people who come from a jazz background. We have rock and roll backgrounds. So it's been really fun to kind of, it's like a big old cauldron of musical genre roots in American music, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole your sound into bluegrass because it's more than that. And it's like, I picture this is what bluegrass would have sounded like back like 80 years ago if they had all the technology and experience that you guys have.
Well, thank you.
So
Yeah.
It's been super just relaxing, and I mean, just really like this core of natural music.
Thank you.
And so let's talk about your new single. Tell everybody the name of the title and how that song came to be.
Yeah, so the song's called At the End of the Day. It actually premiered on American Songwriter at the end of June. And it's honestly my favorite song from the EP. It's just about, sometimes it's called At the End of the Day. And so the chorus says, sometimes the truth they hurt and I find them hard to say, but the truth is all we have at the end of the day. And for me, I'm a very honest, my mom would say, she won't lie to you. And so for me, that is super important is, it's hard to tell somebody the truth sometimes, but at the end of the day, that's all we have. And we have to be blunt and we have to say how we're feeling or else, it turns into, resentment and anger and that just makes everybody's vibe way worse. So
Right. Well, and I'll tell you, just the title itself, at the end of the day, for me, just says, at the end of the day, I'm going to sit down, pour myself a drink, and have a cigar.
Exactly.
Because that's my truth. You know what I mean? I know it sounds kind of different if you're not in that scene all the time. But for me, the truth for me is to sit down with a drink and a cigar and reflect on my day, my week, my relationship. So, man, the music was really touching and really heartfelt. And I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we had a great time making it for sure.
So, what's your music background? What's your history in the music industry?
So I currently reside in Nashville, Tennessee, but I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. I grew up in a musical family. My dad was a music teacher for many years, still plays trombone and tuba. My brother is a very talented jazz saxophone player, music educator, composer, all of the above. And so I have been playing. I'm the bass player in the band, and so I've been playing bass since I was in the 6th grade. Before that,
Wow.
I played clarinet, I played piano, but then I, studied upright in high school and then went on to college. In Illinois, I went to college and got my degree in music education, but I had a heavy emphasis in the jazz department there, so I was really just studying jazz because I realized I don't have the patience to be a teacher, and I really wanted to play. So when I was there, I took a bunch of jazz courses and was studying with the jazz professors in the jazz studies school there. And then after I graduated, I was like, hey, let me give this touring musician thing a go at it and see what'll happen. So I moved to Nashville. I knew some folks down here, but not a whole ton. And just decided to try. I didn't really know if I wanted to tour or be a session player or play in town a bunch, but I've really just kind of gone with the flow as much as I can while I'm here, and it's been pretty good for me, so I can't complain.
So is your brother older or younger?
He's 2 years older than me. I also have an older sister who was in like marching band and stuff in high school, but
Okay.
she's now a lawyer, so.
Oh, well, she's your protection.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you play with your brother since you studied so much jazz and, you're playing bass? Do y'all get together and jam or y'all have stuff working on the side?
Yeah, we love to play together. It's one of the best things that I think I've gotten out of like growing up, and like we obviously when we were younger we weren't like friends, I would say, but as we got older we've become really close and played together in college. He went on and did his master's at a different school because we went to the same undergrad together, and we've done a lot of shows together. We played in cover bands. We've done original jazz music together. We did last November, right before the holidays. I put together a show in town that was kind of like a multi-composer jazz group, and I did some originals. He did some originals. Another friend of ours did some originals, and it's just really fun. It's awesome to push each other and kind of put us out of our comfort zones. And my partner says we have the same snap, and he actually edited these videos from that show together, and he said we have the same exact count off to tunes, how we do it. Yeah, so I mean, we spent a lot of time playing, and obviously I've been learning from him since the dawn of my musical existence. So, yeah.
Now he doesn't hold that over you. I mean, he tries to boss you around, or
no,
he's you. Okay,
he's the most humble human in the entire world, and he is way more talented than me. So he should be pushing me around.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, how did the Barefoot Movement come about? How did you guys get together?
Yeah. Well, I moved to Nashville in 2015 after I graduated college, and the band started. Tommy, the mandolin player, and Noah, the lead singer and fiddle player, met in high school. Noah is a girl, by the way, and
Gotcha.
They started the band in like 2000. I want to say their first show, which I put heavy quotes around show maybe, but it was maybe 2007. And
oh wow,
yeah, so the
okay.
band's been around quite a bit. And then they had different band members. They went off to school. They had band members at school. Then those band members left the band for XY reasons, and then they met our guitar player, Alex, who lived in Nashville, and they were living in East Tennessee at the time. And then Tommy and Noah eventually moved to Nashville, and then in 2015, they met me. They were looking for a new bass player, and they actually put out a Facebook post on a Nashville music forum asking for a female upright bassist who could sing harmonies. And,
Nice.
I just fit that role. So I responded
You're like,
to the ad.
that's, yeah. And I mean, really, how many harmony singing female bass players, upright bass players, are there in Nashville?
There's more. I would say there's more than you think. But, the
Okay.
majority is still pretty low compared to men. But, they were just
Well,
looking.
I didn't even think just men or women. I just mean the upright bass playing in general. Is that
Yeah.
like a very popular in Nashville?
When I moved to town, I thought I would never play upright because I didn't think anybody wanted it in Nashville. But it's definitely not the norm for people to play or to play. They might play, they're really good at playing, super basic parts or whatever. But, since I have a jazz background, I can kind of do a little more. And, I studied it in college. So it is my primary instrument, I would say. And it's not super common, but as soon as I moved here, I started, and people found out I played upright, essentially. I started working way more on upright than I did electric.
So when you contacted them from this post, I mean, did they interview a bunch of people, or did they meet you and be like, yep, that's the girl, that's it?
Well, I don't really know how many people they interviewed, but I know that they didn't audition very many people because in this day and age, it's super easy to kind of vet people on the internet, which is
Sure.
horrible. But I had some what I call bass reels that my dad actually put together for me when I moved here. And they're just I have an electric bass reel and I have an upright bass reel, and I sent them both of those YouTube videos, and it's just all different scenarios that I've played pretty much since the start of college, just because everything before that I would not apply to my life anymore.
Well,
But
just your natural talent and the way you fit so well with the band, I would be like, yeah, they spotted you and was like, yep, that's who we want right there.
yeah, it was, it took a while to, I feel like, really lock in. I wasn't as strong a harmony singer as I am now than when I started with the band. So I was super thankful. They kind of were like, well, I think we could work with this. I could match pitch and stuff, but way more confident in myself now, I would say, for sure.
I see.
Yeah.
So what's been the biggest challenge or, overcome in living in Nashville? I mean, had you been in Nashville much before you moved down there?
Not really. I had lived in Nashville the previous summer before I finished school for 2 months just to kind of test it out. But I think for me, the first year of being here was about what do I actually want to accomplish here, and what do I want to do? What am I going to be proud of? Because you can play in cover bands, or you can do things that are kind of soul sucking, and someone else might really want that gig, and so you have to kind
Right.
of define what you want to be as a musician in this town, because it's oversaturated with amazing people. So if you don't want the gig, somebody way better than you can have the gig, basically. And so that was really important to me. And I really clung to, a lot of folky Americana songwriter type writing, and, stuff like the Barefoot Movement. And I have other friends I play with in town, but also what do I want to do as an individual artist too, which I don't have any music out other than covers I've recorded or the jazz stuff that I've done in town, but kind of defining myself. And so it is a challenge, because also just being a female in a male dominated industry is an interesting one too. It's the things you hear and you're just wait, that's why I didn't get the gig, because of that reason, not because of my abilities, but it's so, I mean, there's so many layers to it. And I'm a pretty thick skinned woman, but after a certain point, you're just okay, well, but those are the gigs I don't want anyways, so
Right.
defining what I am as a musician was totally the biggest hurdle for sure.
Well, that's one of the fits. I mean, I don't really know the history, but I mean, you guys seem to fit so well together. And I mean, when you listen to, I've listened to a number of the tracks, and they just fit so well together. Each one of your own talents coming together to make one music sound is really impressive. So
thank you.
I think you're in the right place for the time being, or for however long you want to be there, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I love playing with this band. It's, and we've become really great friends over the years too. So it's not a horrible thing to be on the road with these folks either. So.
That's good. So where have you guys toured? How is it on the road?
Yeah, I mean, well, right now there is no road.
Well, yeah, I forget. It's COVID, unfortunately.
Yeah. So our career has completely changed in the last 4 months, like night and day difference. But being on the road, we are what people would call road warriors. In the past almost 5 years since I've been in the band, I mean, the most I think we did in a year was we were gone 200 days. And so we've gone a lot of places. Since I've been in the band, we've toured, all over the U.S. and in Canada. The band actually went to Africa before I was in the band. So we've gone a lot of places. I think there's only like 4 states we haven't gone to.
Have you been to Texas?
We have been to Texas. Mm-hmm. We'd love to come back. We haven't gone too much, but yeah, we'd come visit you guys down there.
Yeah, when you come back to Texas, I need to know, because I'm definitely going to come see that show.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
So the new album, I mean, who does the writing? I mean, is that a collective group thing, or do certain people write certain songs and then you all come together to finish them out? How does that work?
Yeah, so this whole recording experience is actually way longer than just this EP. We actually started recording this batch of songs back in 2016, actually, and we got 20 recorded songs out of it. And yeah, so this is just the start of us releasing stuff, really. And COVID kind of put a pause on that, but we're finding other ways to do it, and especially with doing these singles and stuff is a better way to look at it too. But Noah, our lead singer, she does most of the writing. I would say like 90%. And then Alex does some of the writing too. He has, on this particular EP, he wrote Lonely Mississippi Blues, which is the 4th track. And then Noah wrote At the End of the Day, Every Little Thing, and Doing All Right. And then Early in the Morning, the 1st track, is actually a traditional song that we learned from the Library of Congress's archives. And it was a field recording that Alan Lomax did. So we pull things from everywhere, and but Noah does a lot of the writing, and then she'll bring it into the band, and we'll barefoot-ify it. And
nice.
Yeah, so then we arrange it together, and we feel like a lot of our defining sounds are harmonies, and this particular iteration of this group, influences from rock and roll or from jazz or whatever the case is, into this more folk Americana bluegrass-based writing. And so that's kind of what we identify as our sound, which, arranging isn't the same thing as writing, but that's kind of what we do to make it our music as the foursome.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, because, for an outsider, you think just writing is the whole shebang, but yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So what do you guys have planned over the next few months? I mean, is COVID kind of putting you in a position to where it's really hard to make plans, or are y'all doing more digital things? I mean, what are you guys doing to prepare for the next few months?
Yeah, absolutely. COVID has completely stopped touring for us altogether, and we still have some shows, but it's kind of, it's always like, I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to be able to have people there? Are people going to want to come? Is it going to be safe for people? There's a lot of questions there. So we're basically kind of seeing this year as a non-touring year, but we have completely flipped what we were doing. And our last show, I think, was March 14th that we played together. And then that following Saturday, we started doing live streams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we call it the Barefoot Movement Variety Show. And it started every Saturday, and then we moved a couple months ago to every other Saturday. But we have special guests. We have people in our industry who I am like so grateful that they've been on our show. Sierra Hull, Brian Sutton, Frank Sullivan, Stephen Mogen, all these amazing musicians come to be special guests, play a couple tunes. We all play tunes, but we stream separately. So that's kind of the fun about it is Tommy and Noah are married, so they'll stream together, and then Alex streams with his wife, and I stream with my partner Justin in our house, and then we stream it all together, and there's fun little, there's like a trivia game, and then we could do giveaways, and
oh, that is so cool because I do the exact same thing,
awesome.
but with a cigar community every Saturday night.
That's amazing. Yeah, we do all kinds of stuff. We actually offer this thing called a tune twist, where you can, for a fee, you can suggest a cover that we do, and then we make it our own, and we make a video, and those premiere on the stream, and we just have a lot of fun. And
oh, well, see, I want to do that. I want to sign up. How much does that cost? Count me in. I want to do that.
It costs you $0 to watch the stream, and you can actually watch all of them right now on our YouTube channel. So if you want to get a feel, there's also, you can see all the tune twists we've done. We've done some like barefoot variations where just Noah and I do like a female empowerment segment and all kinds of fun stuff. It's been really fun. I mean, none of us are like what I would call tech savvy, other than we are able to like record ourselves at home, which has been a huge blessing because not everybody can do that. And we get really good content because we have those possibilities in our band. But it's been really fun, and we learned a lot, and we're making videos, and we're learning video editing software, and Tommy's really good at putting the whole stream together, and it seemingly goes on flawlessly, and it's just really cool. And I mean, it's really honestly a cool experience, especially in COVID with like, we don't have anywhere to go, and the music industry is essentially decimated indefinitely. So to have A, things to record in the meantime, and then B, something to look forward to every other Saturday night to do, and like kind of hang out with your friends, it's fun. So we like it.
Yeah, I completely get it. I mean, I have friends that from the show that send me text messages every week. Is like, hey, we are getting together tonight, right? And I'm like, I wasn't planning on it, but yes, we will.
Yeah.
So it's funny how a new challenge creates new skills, because like you said, you guys hadn't done a lot of that before, and now, I mean, look at the skills that you've learned over the course of COVID.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, and these are things we always wanted to do. Get our social media numbers up, our presence up there, up our YouTube channel looking better. But when you're touring 200 days a year, it's exhausting to also add that whole job into it. So there are a lot of silver linings to this experience, other than the fact that, financially it's not really that substantial.
Lucrative.
But yeah,
Right.
it's tricky in that regard. But I mean, like Noah had mentioned yesterday, I was talking to her, and she was like, it's at this point, it's becoming like, you have to be passionate about it. There's no money involved, and we are, and we're the passion behind the project is still so there, and that's why we keep doing this. And we're all in. It's kind of like, we're all in this together, which is a great feeling too, because you could have. I mean, if you look at other artists, they would have to pay. If they just are hired gun bandmates, they would have to pay their band to do every single one of these. But we're in this together, so we are doing this together, So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I didn't know y'all were doing that, but we'll definitely be checking that out. Yeah, so tell everybody about your social media, where they can find you.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. We strangely got a lot of follows on TikTok because we did a Billie Eilish tune, so we're also on TikTok. We just got a Patreon. We're on YouTube. Patreon has been our new thing. I don't know if you've heard of Patreon before, but essentially...
Yes, we have a Patreon.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a really cool experience because you get all that exclusive content just from that one place. And our donation bases kind of start at like $1. So you can get all that behind the scenes stuff for only $1 and be a patron for a small fee. And but we're posting all of our variety show stuff to YouTube. Our YouTube channel's been bustling. So, and we have a website too. We're actually the Rise and Fly EP came out in February, but we're just about to release it on vinyl, and it's our first vinyl. So all that stuff is on our website too. So you can find that there if you want to pre-order that.
I love vinyl, so I'm definitely going to have to order one of those.
Awesome. Yeah, we're super stoked about it. I just had the test pressings at my house like last week, and it's just like, oh my God, this is us on a vinyl. So
yes, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this before we go. Mm-hmm. Who would you say are some of the iconic artists in your history that you looked up to and maybe inspired you for what you do now?
Yeah, for me, I pull a lot of my inspiration from bass players, obviously, because I'm a bassist. But I really love my favorite bass players are Ray Brown and Dave Holland, which Ray Brown's no longer with us, but Dave Holland is. And their sound, I just want to encompass that. But also I want to take my knowledge of playing an acoustic instrument and those jazz musicians and bring it into folk music. And, a lot of folk musicians that inspire me, I really love, you talk about like Nickel Creek and the Punch Brothers and all these really progressive folks in the bluegrass world, but also there's an artist who's an up-and-comer now called Yola. Have you heard of Yola?
I have.
Oh, my God. I listen to her constantly. I think my partner sometimes thinks I'm crazy because I just want to always listen to her. But, and then like the influence of Chris Steele, who's an amazing mandolin player who was in Nickel Creek and Punch Brothers, did a record with Brad Meldau, who is an amazing jazz piano player. And seeing my kind of two worlds mold together on a record like that was really cool. And Brad Meldau actually just did a record with Joshua Redman, who's a saxophone player. Brian Blade is a drummer. Christian McBride, who's also a huge influential bass player in my life. And then obviously Brad was on the record too. And that record has been super influencing me lately. And I just love to see those worlds collide. And that's what it is to me. I feel like I'm this jazz trained bassist trying to make my way in a Americana band. So
I love it.
Yeah.
It is a unique experience for sure when you listen and you hear all those sounds come together. It's really, it makes me think that you're going back in time, but with a different twist of music, because it's not like you're like rocking out, changing the face of bluegrass. You're still using the roots, but you're adding your own sound to it. And I find it very amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah. We're trying to do something different and make it fun.
Well, you are doing it great. You are doing it great. Well, Katie, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us and tell us about your music. And we're going to play a small sample of your music so everybody can kind of get a taste of it if they haven't had it so far. And then I guess I just want to wish you guys the best. And if y'all ever need anything from us, feel free to reach out at any time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob. And hopefully we'll see you down in Texas sometime.
Oh, we would love that. If you come to Texas, you got to let us know.
Absolutely. We'll do.
Well, thank you so much. And you guys enjoy a little bit of their new single.
Thank you.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that interview with Katie. I hope you give their music a listen and let me know what you think. I think it's fantastic for just sitting back, drinking some bourbon and smoking a stogie.
Yeah.
So, and I know that's outside of your normal listening realm, Mr. Big Boy, but you can appreciate.
I really can. Because you played that song for me, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could sit back and chill.
Yeah, because when I first said bluegrass,
I was like,
his face was like, what?
I'm good. I'm good.
But the way they compose their music is very interesting. I mean, because to me, it feels like the grassroots, but better.
Yeah, it does. It stays true to the origin. It does. And that's what makes it good. Because as you said earlier, everybody wants to make their own spin off stuff, and it pulls away from it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it pulls away from it. They
mean?
They stayed true, and the music is showing. It's showing.
Yeah, I agree. So, hey, let's get to the Moose Mountain Goods coffee giveaway. If you guys want to check out the Moose Mountain Goods, you can go by our webpage.
Yes, sir.
There's a link. You click on it. And if you use the code that's on the webpage, they'll actually give you 15% off and free 2-day shipping. Anyway, this week's winner is going to be, I'm going to let you do the honors.
It's going to be Eric Smallwood.
Eric Smallwood. Congratulations, Mr. Smallwood. And if someone wants to register for the giveaway, we do a giveaway every week. All you have to do is go by the website, click on the register link, put in your name and your email address. That's it. We're not asking for your firstborn child. And then you're in every giveaway from now on. Yeah. As long as Cigar Talking is in existence, which may be like a week or two, or it might be till we both die.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's funny because someone was asking me the other day. It was when I was talking to Billy and Gus on their little thing that we did.
Okay.
Anyway, they said, "Where do you see Cigar Talk in 5 years?" And you know what my answer was?
What was that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because we don't.
We don't. We do this every week. We hope we're, giving value to the cigar community. And we don't have a plan of where we're going. We try to put out as much content as possible. We're doing
Quality
the radio
content.
show.
Yeah.
We're doing the podcast. We're doing video. However, this week there's no video because we were going to do it at noon. And my son was available, but after that herf we had last night, I was in no condition to do a show at noon.
What's that dude's name again off Andy Griffin?
Otis.
You in your Otis
I
mode.
let myself in the jail cell, and I had to get over that. Woo, man, that was a night. But it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We want to say thank you to everyone who came to the Super Herf last night. It was a lot of fun. And if you didn't get to, we'll be doing another one next month.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. Next week, Alec Bradley Cigars.
Yes, sir.
Well, next week, we don't have Alec, but we do have Bradley.
Yeah, do have Bradley.
We do have Bradley. So we're excited. I'm going to be doing an interview with him tomorrow, so he'll be on next week's show. Also have a interview with Monty Warden, which is he's a musician.
Yes, sir.
And he is doing an interesting style of jazz.
Yeah.
I think you're going to dig it.
Yeah.
I'm going to play some when we get done recording. I'll play it for you. But anyway, we're going to have both of those guys on next week's show.
Gotcha.
So another double interview. And then I've got a lot of interviews lined up. So you guys, hopefully you're digging all the interviews.
It's the quality, man. We're trying to make sure that if we're going to sit here and we're going to give you what we feel is the best, we hope that you enjoy it.
Let me tell you guys what you're missing out on.
Uh-oh.
Before we started recording this show, me and Bryant sat here and gabbed for about 2 hours.
Yes, we did.
You guys wish you could hear all that.
That was a conversation.
But that's not for the radio or the podcast.
Nope.
Anyway, we've had a great time. Hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time,
keep smoking.